Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson, and we're in a little series talking about how to manage peak weight. So we are talking with Adam's dogs, I think there. So,
the mailman's here, of course.
Right. You'll hear that from mine as well at some point. But you know, we talked last time about sodium and potassium, and the reason that we've got to have sodium in the diet is to make sure that water is being pulled into the muscle cells. And I've seen this so many times. We've already hit this pretty hard, Adam, but if you push too much carbohydrate in the day of the show, you just think, oh, I'm flat, so you keep shoving carbs in. All you do is get softer and you spill over because you can't assimilate that. So I cannot emphasize enough that you got to have all of the carb base that you really need in Thursday and Friday. And so you've been hopefully climbing up to that level. Saturday then can be a little bit more conservative, but you've got to have sodium when you need it, specifically to pump up. So do you, Adam, have a sodium routine that you use during contest day? It's Saturday. Do you have a certain amount per meal, or how do you monitor that?
Yeah, so on show day, typically the first thing I have somebody do is get water in, even before their meal, just to make sure we get some water in the muscle tissue before we get food in the GI tract, and because that can slow down the uptake of water into the muscle. And I will usually have them take a little bit of sodium in with that water, just so we're getting the muscle tissue hydrated, but also getting some sodium in there as well. So I might have them just put a couple pinches of salt in their water as kind of a, dare to say, a front load of sodium. It's a very small amount, but I feel like that really sets a good tone for contest day and gives us a good assessment. And then I usually have them send me photos after their first meal. I'll hardly ever change anything upon somebody waking up. I usually let them get their first meal in and kind of see how that next set of photos looks before, meal number 2. But yeah, I really try not to load a ton of food on show day. And then before they pump up or during their pump up, we usually try to add some sodium there. Just as a possibility if the show just takes longer. Timing is always such an issue on show day. So I'll add some salt in there as a just in case they're back there and they are pumping up too long. If that carbohydrate starts leaving the muscle tissue, they're going to look flat and soft because they pumped up so long. And sodium can kind of be a rescue mission to that and hold that glycogen tighter in the muscle tissue and kind of prevent some spillover from over pumping up. So that has always been kind of a go-to, is have a little bit of a sodium load, maybe 30 minutes before they get on stage.
Yeah, incredibly true. If you guys pump up too hard, you're being too aggressive, you're actually using glycogen in the muscle tissue. And as that glycogen is being used, you release water. And so you're getting a little bit flatter and you're going to look a little filmy. You're going to look spilled over. So as Adam is saying, part of your pre-pump up routine should be enough sodium. So that, again, the goal is to keep intracellular water high. And that's going to help you stay fuller, especially as you get on stage and you're going to sweat. And, that whole, just flexing for 15 to 30 minutes is going to, be crushing. So one last thing, Adam, we keep talking about sodium. Are you including the condiments? Are you keeping a client's condiments the same? Are you kind of washing those away and you're just using, sodium specifically?
Yeah. So I usually make it very clear to season all of your food just like you did all week. When I first started really coaching and peaking people, that was a huge pitfall that just bro science people had in their mind. It's show day, so I'm not going to salt my chicken this day. And it's hard to catch. And then as a coach, when you develop the eye to see what sodium flat looks like, you figure out like, hey, you didn't salt your food this day, did you? And it's not their fault because you didn't tell them. but then you realize I need to tell my people salt and use condiments just as normal. But I usually specifically put the condiments into their peak week to let them know, hey, use this much mustard or this much seasoning. A lot of people are really into pink Himalayan salt right now, so I see a lot of that going into people's peak weeks. And then I'll have them add my additional Morton Light salt on top of that, just to make sure we're going anything but lower on sodium on show day. I'll make sure that we're getting, more than enough for sure.
Perfect, perfect. All right, guys, you heard it. We're going to keep continuing on with these variables, moving through how we manage peak week. We'll see you next time.